What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the farm. So now that the fall is starting to set in, we have started to be able to move to some inside project now that I'm spending less time on the garden, spending less time trying to keep the yard together. So I say it's affording us to start coming inside, and we are starting to get my wood shop and everything set up back here in the new barn that we built last year. Over the past couple weeks or so, we've been able to start getting lights installed. We got a workbench built back here, some cabinets and some shelving installed. And of course, the big change is most of the second floor is done. We just have a few more sheets of plywood that got to go in up there. I'll go up there in just a second and show it to you. So we've got the wood shop area is now walled off from the maple syrup area over on this side. So this will be able to stay sort of as a clean sanitary area and be completely separate from my workshop, so you know there won't be any sawdust or anything working its way over here into the syrup / market area that this is probably going to turn into. But what we're going to be working on today, and what the focus of this video is going to be, is we are going to install some shiplap here in this stairwell. We're going to get the shiplap put on the walls before the stringers go in to make sure that we have the right gap between our stringer and our studs. So we're going to go ahead and get those installed and not try to guess at it and space them out so we slip them in later. So we are going to work on getting some shiplap installed in this stairwell. Now the crucial thing is making sure that your first piece is level. And this floor is not level. There is 3 inches of pitch from the back wall to the front wall, and we did that on purpose. So if ever I need to hose out anything in here, all the water will work its way out the door. So what we've done is we've put in some shims using a couple scrap pieces of wood to make sure that we are level. And that's close enough in the bubble for me. So then from here, once this one is affixed, we'll be able to fly coming up because everything will be sitting on top of the first one. We just make sure that it's snug to the board below it, and we should be level all the way across. And then I also, to make sure that all of my nail holes end up in the same place, I built this jig. So I marked it, that's 1 inch from here, 1 inch from this edge, and then this is the dead center. And then I nailed this little board on top to make sure that it sits flush. And now I can come in with the nailer. I just line up with the line and I can shoot my nails, and my nail holes will be in the same place all the way down the board. Because one of the first ways to make a DIY job look sloppy and make it look unprofessional is to not repeat what you've done on every place. You know, whether you're shooting screws, whether you're shooting nails, drilling holes, making a little jig or something so you make sure that you do it in the same place every time is what's going to make it look from, like I said, kind of from a DIY, not really knowing what you're doing, to a much more professional look. And something else you want to do when you're doing something like shiplap or any kind of like wall siding, car siding, shiplap, beadboard, those sort of things, to give it more of like an architectural look, what you want to do is you kind of want to stagger your seams. So these are 16-foot long boards. So if we put every board up in the same position, right there at 16 foot, you'd have a solid line coming down the entire wall. And I mean, if that's the look you're going for, you know, go for it. But so what we've done is we have cut the next board we're going to do. We cut a few feet off of it. So down here, where this first board terminates, the board on top is going to terminate back here at this stud. So then it will continue on from here, and it will stagger our seams and give us a much more, like I said, like an architectural look. And affixing it to the wall, this is a 15 gauge 2-inch finish nail. Now that there's a couple of them in place, you can kind of get a little bit better idea of what it was that I was talking about with staggering our seams. And to prove my point, you know, I mentioned make sure doing whatever you do it consistently. I changed the angle of my nail gun. I went from shooting at this angle, down low with the gun sideways, because I was near the floor. Did the same thing here, and then I turned my angle. So now my nail holes look different. Not that it's a big deal, but it does prove my point about whatever you're doing, try to do it consistently, and you will get a much more uniform look at the end. Are you really even working if you don't have to stop halfway through for some tool repair? We got a jam. So we got this whole side complete. I don't know if you can tell from this camera angle. Yeah, you can kind of see. Got the nice nail holes all lined up all the way down. And then we did not go all the way down the wall here. These last 6 feet or so, we have plans of eventually building a walk-in cooler down here that you'll be able to access in from the maple syrup side. So somewhere I can store sap and produce and stuff, but that's going to be another project for another day. But this is as far as we're going to go with this today. I will make sure before I get this video posted, I will get a good picture or probably even some video of what it's going to look like with both sides done. But now we'll be able to slide our stair stringer over and it will butt right up against this. So you can kind of see there, if you can imagine, that's how the stairs will go up. This nice good looking shiplap, both on this side where you'll enter and underneath where the storage is going to be. Oh, and one more thing to make mention real quick. This is an MDF board, so it's not a solid wood board. So we made sure to leave a gap at the bottom because this could wick moisture into it. Not that there should be moisture in here. We did go ahead and leave that gap just to make sure if something were to spill or get on the floor or leak or whatever, that it will not wick up into the wood. And one more thing. This was 150 square feet roughly, 149 3/4, I believe exactly, square footage that we covered. And here I will show you our scrap pile. So this is all of our scrap, about 5 square feet. So that goes to show you it definitely is worth taking the time to map it out before you start putting your boards up. Like I mentioned earlier, with staggering our seams, we made sure that as we were staggering our seams, we were thinking about what was going to be going on above the board that we were working on, the next board and the next board, and thinking ahead so that we ended up with as little scrap as possible. So 5 square feet out of about 150 square feet covered. I'd say we did pretty good. So I told you guys I'd show you what this was going to look like once it was all finished. All right, it's a really cloudy day. We had to set up this really bright light. It's making it kind of glary in here. But I told you I'd show you what it looked like when it was done. So now all we have to do, well, the next thing we have to do, not all we have to do, is we're going to install the stair stringers, get some treads going to upstairs, and then we can begin work up on the 2nd floor. So I guess that will about do it for this quick little video on installing shiplap out here in the barn. If you enjoyed this little video, you think I should do some more videos on as we're doing more little projects here, getting the shop put together, let me know about it and I will do some more videos about this kind of stuff. If you did enjoy it, think about hitting that thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel for more DIY, more farm content if this is the sort of thing you're into. And until next time, y'all, see ya.